Welcome to Daily Harmony. Today we're doing a deep dive into A Course in Miracles, specifically looking at Lesson 161.
That's the one. Give me your blessing, Holy Son of God.
Yeah.
A really powerful one.
Absolutely. And for you, the learner, maybe someone wanting to get these ideas quickly, but, thoroughly without feeling overwhelmed. That's our goal.
Yeah, to kind of unpack it, what's the core message here?
Exactly. We want to explore what blessing someone really means in this context and how that simple act maybe reflects a deeper truth about ourselves.
And why it's such a useful tool, right? For shifting perspective.
Precisely. We've got some great material to draw on commentary, a study guide, the lesson text itself, and an analysis document. Different angles on this central teaching.
Sounds good. So where do we start? The core teaching itself.
Let's do that. So the heart of it seems to be this idea of both seeking and giving blessings.
Right. It's not just one-sided. It's presented as, well, pretty fundamental to our spiritual path, according to the Course.
And it's tied into recognizing something inherent, a kind of divinity, within everyone.
Exactly. That's the key part. It's suggesting that this act of blessing, it connects us to something really essential about who we are collectively.
It's definitely more than just, saying nice things. There's a depth there.
There really is.
Which brings us to the significance. Why is this lesson so important? The sources really highlight interconnectedness.
That seems crucial, this idea that we're not just isolated units.
Right. And when the lesson says to ask for a blessing from the Holy Son of God, we'll get into that term more, it's like an acknowledgement of this shared divine nature we all have.
Yeah, it's like saying, I see that spark in you, which is also the spark in me. It points beyond our individual stories and personalities.
And that recognition, that interconnectedness, it implies our thoughts and actions have ripples, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The commentary mentions that our thoughts, our actions, they have profound effects, not just on us, but on everyone around us.
Which naturally leads towards, well, forgiveness and compassion, I suppose.
It has to, doesn't it? If we're truly connected, hurting someone else, or even just holding a judgment, it sort of reverberates back.
Yeah, it really makes you reconsider how you interact with people day to day.
Totally.
Okay, let's tackle that phrase. Holy Son of God. It sounds quite specific, maybe even religious to some.
It does, but the Cordy uses it in a very particular way. The study guide clarifies it's not about an external figure, necessarily.
Right. It's referring to the true self, or Christ consciousness, within each person. Our shared identity with God, or a higher power, however you frame it.
So asking for that blessing is like turning towards that deeper reality within someone else, and implicitly within yourself, too.
Seeking the grace and love that flows from that awareness.
Exactly. It's an internal shift, recognizing this shared essence that's always there, beneath the surface personality.
Which is quite a radical re-identification, moving away from just ego.
It really is a shift towards unity.
And along similar lines, the word blessing itself gets redefined here.
Yeah, it's not just wishing someone well casually.
No. The glossary definition calls it an acknowledgement and affirmation of inherent worth and divinity.
So it's an active seeing, a validation of that divine spark, that inherent goodness you were talking about.
Less about giving something new, more about recognizing what's already there.
Precisely. And that's where that idea of blessing as a mirror comes in, I think.
How so?
Well, when you genuinely see and affirm, bless that worth in another person, you're simultaneously acknowledging it in yourself. It reflects back.
Ah, I see. So recognizing the divinity in them helps you see it or accept it in you.
Exactly. The commentary says that recognition is the foundation for both giving and receiving. It works both ways.
That feels significant. It sort of turns conventional thinking on its head, doesn't it? This focus on interconnectedness over pure individuality or self-interest.
It really does. It challenges those ingrained ideas. If we truly are all connected at this deep level, sharing this divine nature, well, that changes everything.
Your relationships, your decisions.
Your whole outlook, potentially.
Yeah.
Which brings us to practical application. How does this actually look in life?
One key way mentioned is dealing with judgment.
Ah, yes.
Always a tricky one.
So instead of judging someone, maybe someone who pushes your buttons.
We all have those people.
Right. The idea is to consciously choose to bless them instead, to see their inherent holiness despite whatever behavior you find difficult.
It's like intentionally shifting your focus, moving from their perceived flaws or mistakes to that deeper, unchanging divine core.
Choosing a different lens, like you said.
And that act of choosing, that shift in perception, it's powerful. It can actually change how you feel internally. It fosters unity instead of separation.
And another practical example is related, but slightly different: actively looking for and honoring the holiness in others.
Not just when they annoy you, but more generally.
Exactly. Making it a practice. It could be silent, just an internal nod like, I see the good in you, or I recognize that divine spark.
Or maybe sometimes verbalizing it, appreciating a positive quality you notice. Sure, the study guide mentions consciously blessing those around you. It's about actively cultivating that way of seeing.
So it's an internal mindset shift that can also manifest externally.
And the core principle behind all this seems to be about healing. Healing through unity.
Right. Not through separation, not through reinforcing judgment, which just keeps us apart.
Blessing dissolves that illusion of separation, connecting us through that shared divinity instead.
It's powerful because it moves away from the idea that we're all just these isolated individuals bumping into each other. Blessing reinforces the connection.
And the lesson materials actually offer some concrete exercises, don't they?
They do. Very practical things,
Yeah.
like silently blessing 3 people you interact with each day.
Just wishing them joy and peace internally seems simple enough to try.
Very accessible. And there's also the morning affirmation.
Ah, yes. Starting the day by stating, I am a holy son of God, deserving of love and blessings.
That one's about acknowledging your own inherent worth first, setting that foundation.
Because it's harder to see it in others if you don't recognize it in yourself first.
I think that's the idea. It opens you up to both giving and receiving. It's like setting the intention for your day, how you want to perceive things.
It definitely sets a different tone.
Yeah.
And it leads right into that reflection question posed in the analysis.
Which is,
How can recognizing the divinity within myself and others transform my relationships and interactions in daily life?
that really brings it home, doesn't it? It asks you to imagine the real world impact.
Yeah, it's not just abstract theory. It's an invitation to see how this might actually play out.
So if we try to wrap this up, Lesson 161 is essentially offering a perspective shift
A profound one. Away from separation and judgment.
towards seeing a unified reality where everyone shares this divine spark and is worthy of blessing.
So for you, the learner, what's the takeaway? This lesson feels like a shortcut almost, a direct path to feeling more connected, more loving.
Yeah, by consciously choosing to look for that Holy Son of God everywhere, including in the mirror, you tap into that unity.
You start to dissolve those barriers we put up, the judgments, the grievances.
And here's the really interesting part, I think. It's not just about trying to be nicer.
No.
No, it's about aligning with what the Course presents as a fundamental truth about our nature. It's about seeing reality more clearly beyond the ego's filter.
That's a powerful thought. So consider this as we finish up. What might actually change for you day to day if you actively looked for that divinity in people?
Even the difficult ones.
Especially the difficult ones, maybe. And what if you turned that same gentle gaze, that same blessing, inward towards yourself?
What shifts might happen then?
Exactly. It's something to ponder. This deep dive gives you the framework.
A framework for potentially a really profound shift in perception.
We hope you'll explore these ideas more, maybe even try those exercises.
Yeah, see how it feels. Thanks for joining us for this exploration.
Thank you for joining us on Daily Harmony.